Hey guys, how's it going? Coderman here. In today's video, I wanted to give my thoughts on the Lightning after having it for about 2,000 miles now. So it's certainly been a minute since I've created a video, and there's been a lot going on, but I won't bother you with all of that. Overall, I really enjoy it, but there's some things that I'm not fully in love with. So let's quickly get into this and go over the details. So spoiler alert, overall, I really love the truck, and I'm beginning to enjoy the EV experience, which is kind of strange for me because I've always had, ICE vehicles, loud vehicles, race them. I think one of the things for the Lightning that I enjoy is that it's very different. And by it being very different, I'm learning a lot of new things. I am here to say that range anxiety is a thing. If you don't charge when you should be, then you can be left stranded. I'm sure you've seen all of the videos, be it clickbait or otherwise, of people, running down to the last few miles. The reason I say clickbait is because honestly, you kind of have to be oblivious to let that happen. There's no way to disable the view that shows you how many miles you have remaining. It's pretty common knowledge that the vehicle needs to be charged. And honestly, I feel like a lot of people are just kind of, doing this to be, to create sensationalism. And for me, that's never been my focus on anything on this channel. Overall, the cost to charge has been pretty insignificant. In terms of, I got some free charging from Ford from buying the truck, and I, burned through that pretty quickly. Of course, going to Pennsylvania would do that. And then I just charge at home. And granted, our, per kilowatt hour cost where I'm located is not great. It still is significantly less expensive than filling up at the, at the pump. For me, what it's kind of cool is that, I come home from a day, whatever, I plug it in, it charges overnight. I get up in the morning and it's ready to go with no issues, no concerns. And I think that that's a big part of just, understanding EV is that if you charge it and keep it charged, kind of like your phone, it's always going to be available when you need it. Honestly, would I recommend an EV? That's going to come down to what your lifestyle is. Is range, if you already are an anxious person, range anxiety is probably not something that you're going to enjoy. I can say that as somebody that doesn't really enjoy it. With some tweaks, it kind of becomes a thing of the past. If you're towing a lot, I'm sure, again, you've seen all the articles and all the videos of how horrible the Lightning is because it can't tow. It always kind of blows me away because watching these videos, I swear that they think everybody's towing. And the reality is that I've owned the vehicle now since August, and I towed once. And I kind of towed more of like on purpose, right? I could have just flown down and rode the bike home, or I could have flown down and rented a truck or whatever. I just kind of did it to see how the experience would be. That being said, if towing is your primary focus, or say if you're like a contractor or something, you need to tow a trailer, then the Lightning's probably not the right choice for you. Your range is going to be significantly reduced, your power output's going to be reduced, and it's gonna add a level of complexity to your life that you probably just don't want to deal with. The last thing you want to do is tell a customer that you can't make it because your truck's charging. If you need to quickly jump from, let's say Boston to Florida, you need to plan ahead. You need to definitely learn, where can you stop? Where are the fast chargers? Where can you maybe grab some food? So it takes a little bit more planning. I can kind of relate it to flying. You can't just hop in the plane and go. You need to plan your route. You need to plan, you basically need to, pack, but you also need to plan how exactly you're going to get there. What stops are you going to make, kind of using the plane analogy, where you're going to land, where you're going to park, what are the landing fees, things like that. It's kind of the same experience with the truck. And again, if that doesn't interest you, or if that is a concern, then, a Lightning's probably not for you, or an EV in general is probably not for you. I'm definitely not here to say that EV's for everyone or EV's for no one. It's going to determine, that's going to be determined where you live, what your daily routine is, what's most important to you. Maybe you don't want to spend $60,000 to $80,000 for a truck that if you remove the electric vehicle aspect of it, it's about a $40,000 truck. Insurance, well, it didn't change much. I expected it to actually go up a lot more. It's mostly just based on the value. I think, honestly, insurance companies don't realize how expensive it is to replace some of these components. And let's hopefully keep them in the dark a little bit longer. EV is not for everyone. I don't think it's for everyone. I know there's a lot of initiative to make EV the future, and quite honestly, it probably will be. Maybe not in my lifetime, but probably my children. And I think it really comes down to a lot in life that you have to decide what works best for you. The Bronco worked well for me for a while, but then it didn't, so I sold it. I don't really have a connection to a vehicle as much as it needs to be useful for what I'm doing. Obviously, watching this video, you're kind of getting the insight from an actual EV owner. I don't sugarcoat any of this, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and say you must buy one, because honestly, I don't think, personally, I do not think that our electrical grid can even handle everybody having an EV. But I think you should drive one. I think you should test drive one, rent one, borrow one from a friend, whatever your options are, because rather than sit there and read articles and watch videos, maybe just experience it and see if it's for you. And then if it is, maybe place an order. Or if you say, hey, you know what? I want to keep my high revving, loud, obnoxious V8 because you know what? I absolutely love it. I absolutely love the sound of vehicles. And honestly, that's the biggest thing for me for the Lightning is while my music sounds better and more clear because there's no distortion from an engine, I don't have the sound of an engine. And that really drives me crazy even to this day. If I kept this truck for 100,000 miles, I'm sure that it would still bother me because there is a thing about driving that it's an experience as much as it's a tool to get you to where you need to go. Build quality, I haven't had any concerns. Charging times, charging experience, zero issues. Certain networks, if you actually connect, the vehicle will automatically just charge your card. You don't even have to do anything. The ride quality of the vehicle, the acceleration, all the data points are all there. It's a really fun truck. It's actually the first truck that I have owned, and it's kind of funny because I never thought that I would own an EV at all. I don't know how long I'll keep it. There's other things that I want in the future, and it may need to go in order for me to get those other things. I'm kind of focused on some other stuff as far as working on the Mustang. And then my wife's 53 Chevy, which a video will be coming out about that real soon. People have been asking about it on Instagram and a couple of my videos, and I actually realized I'd never created an actual video on it. So I'm definitely going to go ahead and do that. The space inside it is great. The bed is not the largest, but it works. And then you have the frunk where there's a considerable amount of space. If you go and do shopping or whatever, you can, plop it in there and then have 4 people or 5 people in the truck and have all the space in the world. The range is good. It's not great. I got the standard range battery. I still don't think I would have spent the extra $10,000 for the extended range. The weirdest thing for me is to create content on it. It's kind of hard because there's not much to talk about. I don't create clickbait content. I don't try to break things just for the sake of doing it. And as far as modding it, I've seen a couple bumpers and a couple sets of wheels, but beyond that, there's not much else you can do to it, unless you're trying to just be some outrageous YouTuber, which I have absolute zero interest in becoming. And for those who follow me on social media, you probably noticed that I'm taking a welding class so that I can actually work on the Mustang myself. And as a result, it's going to take a lot longer. I'm going to need special tools and some skill, of course. But it's going to be a lot more fun because when I finally turn the key and drive it down the road, I will know that I built that, I worked with my friends or other shops or whatever, and I got that thing completed. I'm already in the process of outfitting my garage with a lot of really cool tools, welders, air compressors, new toolboxes, all sorts of stuff. So there's my thoughts on the Lightning, and there's just a quick little update on the channel as far as, kind of what's been going on. As always, I really appreciate you guys' support. I know that I haven't been so consistent with the videos, and I am going to say that from this point forward, from this video, they're going to come out at Monday at 6 p.m. every week. Lightning related, Mustang related, Chevy, or something car related. It's always going to be car related. In addition to the Monday release, I may also occasionally release some real estate videos or something like that. So as always, I appreciate you guys' support. If you're new here, please subscribe. Please like this video as it helps me, and I will catch you in the next video.